Hello, y'all. I'm Shelly. Welcome to my channel. I'm also the activities director for the Dallas Modern Quilt Guild, and in this video, I'm going to demonstrate our blockology blocks for the month of June. Y'all, we're making chickens, and these blocks are cute. The unit size is 2. Also, you're going to want to have a lot of contrast between your background fabric and your chicken body. And then I personally used a stripe for the leg, and I think they turned out so darling. However, this is your chicken, you be you. I look forward to seeing what everybody makes and brings to the meeting. And happy chicken making, y'all. I'll see you at the June meeting. Okay, y'all, let's talk cutting instructions. So for the chicken body, you're going to cut one rectangle 6.5 by 5.5. And then you're going to cut one square at 2.5 inches square. Well, that's nice. Cutting instructions for the background. We want 3 squares cut at 2.5 inches. We want one rectangle cut 2.5 by 5.5, one rectangle cut 6.5 by 2.5, and then we want one rectangle cut 4.5 by 8.5, and then one long rectangle cut 1 3/4 by whatever the length of the block is, which I will have in the notes below. I know this is a lot of cutting, so I'll have all that in the notes. For the coxcomb, these are 3.5 inches square. Yes, 1 for the beak. You're going to want one piece of fabric that's 2 inches square. So to make this block, we're going to take your body square, which is 6.5 by 5.5. Then we're going to take your triangle, then we're going to take these 2.5 inch square blocks. I'm going to draw a line down the middle of that block because I'm going to sew on that line. And we want to line them up like this. So we've marked our squares. We're going to sew on the drawn line, and then we're going to trim these blocks. If you're a pinner, you might want to put a pin in just to make sure they don't shift on you. If pinning is not your jam, you be you. Sometimes I pin, sometimes I don't. I'm going to pin for grins right now. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I've sewn here. So I'm going to go press those, but first, before I go press those down, I'm going to trim this triangles off real quick. Okay, let's go press. Okay, chicken body right here. Next, we're going to take the 6.5 by 2.5 inch block, and we're going to mark this down the back. Okay, like that. So we want your angle to start on the left top and come down to the right. All right, let's go sew. So you can see it. I'm going to go press that, but first, before I go press that, I'm going to trim this real quick. Let me go trim it up. Cute, right? Okay, now y'all wait for this. This is the part that's fabulous. On your 2 red 3.5-inch squares, I want to put those together, but before I do put these together to sew, I'm going to draw myself a coxcomb. I'm just going to give myself a You'd want this to be a gentle curve here. You don't want to make it too steep. But you're just drawing this. If it's a little wonky looking, it's going to make this chicken even cuter. So now let's go. Put these right sides together. Let's sew around that. And then we'll turn it back right sides. Then we'll turn the right sides out. Okay, y'all, look. Here's my coxcomb. I'm going to trim around this. I'm also going to give it a little trim right there. I think it'll help turn these around better. Then and of course I have this little handy tool that I've had for, I'm sure, 100 years. And we'll just poke the points of the coxcomb out. My nail right there. Yep. Isn't that cute? So then we're going to do this. We're ready to sew this together. So what we're going to do is put this here. We want to make sure that I'm a quarter, oops. Actually, I'm going to go press this real quick and then sew. Now, we're ready to put this together. I did go over to the iron and give this a little press. This is going to go like this. We're going to sew that to there. But before we do that, I'm going to put this chicken in, but I want to make sure it's at least 1/4 inch from right here. So I'm putting a little more than 1/4 inch. Okay, let's go sew. Okay, I've sewn this and given it a little press. Y'all can see where this is going. Look at how cute is this, y'all. So cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, next thing. We're going to take our 5.5 by 2.5 and then our 2-inch square, which we're going to mark. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm not so worried about it. We're going to want him right there. Just give him an eyeball. Yep, he looks good. Okay, let me go sew this. Look. Oh my God, it's coming together. It's so cute. Okay. I can trim that up after I sew. I'm not going to be so worried about that. Oh yeah, this chicken is coming along. Okay, let's attach this part. Okay, our chicken has a body. Now let's give our bird some legs. So I don't want to make sure I trim this a quarter of an inch because I want my leg to be attached underneath the chicken body, not underneath the background. If you do, it's not a big deal. These are whimsical and they'll still look cute, but that's just something I did when I was working this block out. So now I'm going to take one of these stripes for the leg, which I did cut these stripes, didn't I? Yes, 3/4 of an inch, yes. And I'm going to attach this one here. Okay. We've got one leg done. Okay. Our chicken has a leg. Yay. Okay. So now, just come in here and put this other leg about right there. Let's cut this. Let's go and put this other leg on. Okay, this is cut. Let's go sew this down. Also, give yourself some room. We're going to trim this up, so give yourself some room up here at the top. Okay, let's trim this up. Okay. Now, the important thing to do when we sew this on is that we want to make sure I've left 1/4 of an inch for the bunny ear right here at the top, so that when we sew this down and then turn it to the side, it's all going to be the same. So let's go sew. Look, y'all, look how cute those legs are. Okay, let me trim this bunny ear off and get the threads off. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Okay, let's go sew the legs on this chicken. Okay, almost done. Now, I'm going to take our strip that I cut at 1 3/4. Yeah, that's right? Yes, 1 3/4. Sew that on, and then I'm going to trim up this block. And our chicken is done. And we're going to trim this block. Okay, here we go. And this block is 9.5 by 11.5. And she's so cute. Okay, so here's my other one. So my chickens are ready for the meeting. I can't wait to see what y'all bring in. Happy chicken sewing, y'all.